This is part 3 of a 3-part series in the final building and construction of my Davenport, Rock Island, and Northwestern shelf-style HO train layout. I began construction in 2006 with the idea of building a small room-sized layout that I could get up and run quickly. Final scenery was completed 11 years later. Could I have finished the layout sooner? Yeah, I could have. 2 years without a doubt. But like all of us, life happens and other priorities present themselves. Honestly, the layout has been 95% complete for at least 5 years. It's just the last 5% that seem to drag on forever. Okay, so this layout is 7 foot wide by 11 feet long and sits in the far southeast corner of my basement. It's my 6th layout build since 1989, so I've had experience and knew what I wanted to accomplish from the very start. Now some quick background on this small industrial switching and freight transfer for the BN and Soo line in the Quad Cities. Yes, this is or was an actual railroad which began circa 1903 and ended in June of 1995. Basically, the BN and Soo line disbanded the small 37-mile railroad and essentially took over its duties. The BN and Soo line were 50-50 owners of the line anyway, so the takeover was smooth and unremarkable. The Driline trackage begins at 18th Street in Rock Island, Illinois, traversing the Mississippi River across to Davenport and Bettendorf, Iowa, then up to the river, eventually to Clinton, Iowa. This small railroad lends itself to an abundance of interesting switching and industrial jobs. Hence my reason, not to mention its close proximity to my house, to model it in the comfort of my own basement. Okay, so let's start this quick tour counterclockwise. We're going to start at the Ralston Purina industrial plant in Davenport, Iowa. In each corner of the layout, I've modeled a specific industry or area that I found interesting along the way. Rounding out the 4 corners is a 3-track staging yard and at the Bettendorf Yard at 26th Street. The Ralston Purina industrial plant was scratch-built from styrene. As with all buildings, I took pictures and then modeled them using selective compression, and in some cases, as with the trailer park, my own artistic license. You'll see the trailer park in a little bit. The yard office was also scratch-built, taken directly from a picture I took on site. I added this Liebherr 110 ECB 6 all-metal crane as well. I purchased it from 3000toys.com for about $135. I just thought it looked cool and would add interest to the scene. Look for my review of this crane on YouTube. Got the guys working on the roof here in Ralston Purina. We've got TMC truck. And like I say, this backdrop, this is all styrene. And then I've got the Ralston Purina logo up top there. And as we move along, we can see the staging yard. It's a 3-track staging yard, and it's about 8 feet long. And as we continue counterclockwise, it's one of my favorite scenes, the trailer park, because who doesn't like a good trailer trash scene on their layout? I know I do. This is a lot of fun to build. This is on all wooden structure. I don't remember the manufacturer, but I put that together. Got our trailer park there. We've got guys working on the road. Some of the stuff is weathered. That's one thing that I've got to finish on the layout, is weathering everything. That takes a long time, but for the most part I'm pretty satisfied. This little Winnebago is a Tomica brand. It's from I think it's from the late 70s. It's really cool. I mean, it's all metal. It's actually 1/87 scale. I've got one with the brown livery as well. Just thought it looked really cool. I'm kind of big into cars in the layout, as you can well see. Then as we round the corner here, comes the double-track bridge over Duck Creek. This scene was the final scene to finish up on my layout. It took me 5 years. So why did it take me so long? I just procrastinated. Life got in the way. But I could have had this layout done way before then. To model the water, I used Envirotex Pour-On. It's a 2-part and worked fantastic. I mean, it looks really, really good. And I bought the Vallejo pigments, Somber Natural. You just mix this in with the 2-part epoxy to give that kind of that muddy water look. I should say muddy river look. It looks really, really cool. Really happy with that. This is a wooden bridge. I ended up buying this at a garage sale for, I think it was like $10, and weathered it up, made it look cool. So you can really, if you look hard, get stuff that's not too expensive for your layout and save some coin. Alright, as we round the third corner here, this is the Bettendorf Yard chemical plant. I took photos of this plant and scratch built the buildings and filling tower you see here. The filling tower is this guy right here on top here. I've got the lines and stuff going underneath the tank car there. But this is exactly what the building looks like in the Barcel Chemical Company. And then we've got the Bettendorf water tower. Added a microwave tower. I've got all the trucks labeled with Barcel chemicals. That's exactly what the trucks look like. So a lot of model railroading is going to the area that you want to model and taking pictures and making it look as real or realistic as possible. Okay, and here we have the Bettendorf Yard. You can see this bump up. I call it bump out. I added this probably 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't have room for the Driline, the yard here. This is actually at 26th Street in Bettendorf. These buildings are all scratch built. Again, I took pictures. It looks exactly like this. If we went to the Bettendorf Yard today, this is exactly what you'd see. Some of the locos, or I should say the cabooses, are all scratch built. That's a Driline caboose. That's a Driline caboose. Not everything is weathered. I've weathered a few cars here. These are all weathered. And again, it's going to take me some time to weather everything, but these are the actual Driline yard switchers. These are all custom painted by myself and lettered. I haven't weathered them yet, but I will eventually. And this is a sign that I acquired from Eastern Iowa Community Colleges. It fits actually perfect in the layout. It's HO scale and thought it was kind of cool, so I set it up. Alright, and rounding out the fourth corner is a small representation of downtown Bettendorf, which is a small bedroom community of about 30,000 located along the Mississippi River just upstream from Davenport, Iowa. That's where I live. Got a news crew going on downtown here. Got an accident. Cops are taking the guy in. He obviously was under the influence of something. Just a small little diorama, small scene, but you can really pack a lot in a small space. You can get the guy on the motorcycle here. He's hanging out, talking to his girlfriend, while her mom's out drying the clothes. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is the swing bridge or lift bridge. This was the original, it was a swing bridge. You can see there's a hinge on there, and this was connected on the side here, and it would just swing down like that, swing back up. The problem is that the humidity levels change a lot down in the basement here, and then it would move left or right on this end. This end had the connector, and it would move here too, so the track wouldn't align properly, and I always have to fight with it or move it this way, move it that way. So I finally got rid of it and went to the old tried and true method, and that is simply just to use a drop-in like this. So I've got wood stanchions on either side here. Just drop it in like that. I mean, it's nice and tight, won't move. I got a little connector underneath here. Put the connector in, and you're ready to go. So yeah, I recommend the drop-in method as opposed to a kind of a swing down using a latch system. It just didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. It was easier because you didn't have to take this off and set it somewhere, but it's really not that big a deal. Okay, let's run some trains.